Hi, Internet! As you can plainly tell, I am not Fighting Leaf. No one's actually seen him for several months. So, to fill in the void, I'm actually going to be reviewing something very special for you guys. You ready? You ready? Mr. T and the T-Force #1. Yes, I really did find this at a local comic book shop. The very same issue that Linkara reviewed on Atop the Fourth Wall all those years ago. Now I'm gonna do all the same jokes he did so I can be just like my honored senpai Linkara!
Don't even think about it.
Can I at least do the superpower counter?
Come up with your own jokes, you hack.
Alright, fine. Anyway, without further ado, let's dig into... let us begin reading Mr. T and the T-Force #1. Since we're here, let's take a look at this cover. It's freaking brilliant, in that it's depicting a ridiculously shiny set of gold chains, Mr. T's signature look. By the way, for any of you who don't know who Mr. T is, he's essentially a really scary good guy who fights to uphold the virtues of good guyness, and who occasionally bursts through solid walls to make his point. We all good? Good. Moving on. Check it out! This is a first issue collector's item! Apparently everyone used to think that just because you hoarded a comic book and it was a #1 issue that it would become really valuable one day. Turns out that only works with comics that don't get a lot of print and that people actually give a rip about. I just made myself sad. Anyway, the story proper begins with Mr. T already being awesome by hammering his fist down onto the hood of a car. "I'ma run you and your drugs out of this hood, 'cause Mr. T is in the house!" You officially have my attention, Mr. Comics. Smash more things! Holy cow, he didn't just smash the hood, he hit that thing so hard the tires popped off! Is that science? I don't think that's science. Naturally, these guys, who just happen to be drug runners, don't appreciate that this guy just destroyed their ride, and naturally try to beat up Mr. T's face. Bad guys always did this in the 90s. They witness someone's superhuman feat, and the very first thing they think is, yeah, I can take him. 3 guesses as to how that goes every single time. Punch in the face, punch in the face, punch in the face, cattle prod... Wait, that's not supposed to happen. As it turns out, some backup has arrived, carrying guns and stuff. Don't worry though, Mr. T is just fine. He brought a little... Holy cow, that thing is huge! Dude, I know you were on the A-team, but that's a little bit of overkill for street patrol, isn't it? Actually, that thing is not a gun, but some kind of giant early 90s TV camera. Yeesh, no wonder his arms are so big. Mr. T doesn't actually use guns. These guys, however, do. In fact, I think that one might be growing out of his neck. Not that this actually accomplishes anything. Yoink! Pop! Screek! Kaboom! That leaves only one more baddie to deal with. The guy who momentarily knocked him out with a cattle prod. What does he do about it? He grabs it like it was nothing. I'm ready this time. I'm braced. And it doesn't stop there. I know Rugburn wanted me to make my own jokes, but there is only one reference that I can put here.
His hand of mine glows with an awesome power! Its burning grip tells me to defeat you! Go! Go! Go!
That is not science! Don't care, that was amazing! Then the comic takes a much darker turn when Mr. T hears something and grabs this punk here along to investigate it. Throughout the comic, there have been these darker panels showing off someone dropping a package off in a dumpster, accompanied by this screeching noise. It's about this time when the comic shows its true colors. It's not just meant to be entertaining, it's actually got a point about morals and stuff like that. Although that finger thing was friggin' amazing. Let's see it again! As it turns out, this comic addresses some heavy topics, especially about the effects that illicit drugs have on the lives of inner-city people, represented by this honestly heartbreaking image of an infant someone had thrown away in the trash. Which is why this next part is so awkward, because it's one of the most unintentionally hilarious lines in the comic. Hey, what is it?
It's a crack baby, fool!
Look, I know it's in terrible taste, but come on, no one reading this for the first time could ever hold it together, okay? It's funny is funny, no matter how bad of a person it makes you for laughing at it.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
Don't judge me, most of you laughed at that too at some point. He goes on to give a heartfelt monologue about a poor young mother who doesn't know what else to do with her life, but then points Uncle Sam's finger at me.
You took her money! Food money! Rent money, punk!
But I didn't sell her any drugs, Lightning Demigod Man, I swear! So they swaddle up the baby and then, Mr. T slaps a tracker communicator on his wrist. Is that legal? On the next page, he's blackmailing this guy with a video he took of him being, well, a criminal, I guess, saying that he should take that baby to a special clinic or else he'll wind up in jail. Man, that is a lot of really questionable stuff in such a short time for a good guy. Still better than Batman. But don't worry, Mr. T has a point to make. He takes off one of his mighty gold necklaces in a panel where they drew his upper lip too long, making him look kinda like a monkey, and then slaps it down onto Mr. Thugman, whose name might actually be Punk from how many times Mr. T calls him that, and officially drafts Punk into the ranks of the T-Force, completely against his will. See kids, criminal scum forfeits their free will, and that's why crime doesn't pay. So Punk begrudgingly takes the crack baby food to the clinic, but when he arrives, he meets this unhappy lady. You scum! You'll get girls hooked on junk, totally messed up. Then you do this to them. I can't believe you. Then she just up and quits. What? But he didn't do anything yet. You're supposed to wait for him to say something in his defense, call it a lame excuse, and then storm out of there. Hey, wait a second. I just realized that the artist forgot to draw on his T-Force communicator thingy on the last page. Like, the whole page. That's kind of a big deal, man. See, there it is again in the next page doing plot stuff. Mr. T checks up on his progress and Punk flips out trying to tell him that the nurse quit on him. That's when a couple of guys intercept her and talk her out of quitting. And there are those T-Force watches again. Oh no. Mr. T's got them too! He's building an army of reformed thugs and lowlifes to take over the world! What are we gonna do? Not a lot apparently, cause even if we tried, he once again shows off his awesomeness by jumping across rooftops, smashing one in with a dive kick, and landing in front of a really big Aztec-looking guy with so many guns and muscles that even Mr. T wishes he had exchanged his video cam for a grenade launcher. Woo! And that was Mr. T and the T-Force. And this comic is amazing. To be fair, I should say that Mr. T's character here is amazing. The writers clearly had no regard for the limits of the human body when he put this together, and I commend him for that, because watching the T-Man in action is like a roller coaster ride. The subplot about the crack baby foo seemed a little ham-fisted, sure, but I get where they were going with this. And yes, folks, it did come with a trading card. I believe you're in my seat. No way! You're back! What the heck happened to Husky? The kid moving ninja. You, talking to that baby, man? It's kinda young, you know? Don't judge me, random person, man. I've had a very stressful day. What's up, everybody? Conan Bell here, and this is another Patreon shoutout to Steve Sharp, Jordan Mathis, and Megan Clapp. You know the drill. Check out Steve Sharp's music at Sharp Rain Music at his YouTube channel because it's awesome. Got something you want me to review? just send it to P.O. Box 82, Prospect, Kentucky 40059. Later, guys, and stay awesome.